A hearty good morning to all. Today I am going to tell you a story. So turn page number 75. In a page number 75 we have a motivational story, 3 questions. Before originating the story, let us have some talkings about the characters. There are 6 characters in this story. First, a king. Second, some wise people. Third, a bodyguard. Fourth, 2 horses. Fifth, a hermit. And sixth, a bearded man. Once upon a time, there lived a king who was wealthy and powerful. He had all the comforts in his life. Beside this, every time a thought arose in his mind. He was worried to get the answers of his 3 questions. The questions were like this. First, what is the right time to begin something? Second, who are the people he must listen to? And third, what is the most important thing for him to do? The king wanted to know answers of these questions so that he would get help in making his kingdom better. The wise people, those who were in the assembly hall with the king, gave their own suggestions for the question asked by the king. The king heard them all. He was not satisfied yet, so he ordered to get ready his horse. He told his bodyguard to be ready too. Next morning, the king dressed himself as an ordinary man and went off to a hermit. When he entered the wood, he told his bodyguard to keep an eye on him. He told him to look after both the horses too. When the king came near the hut of the hermit, he saw the hermit digging the ground in front of his hut with a spade. The king greeted the hermit. The hermit responded but carried on digging the ground. The king said to the hermit that he came to him for the answers of his 3 questions. Then he spoke out his questions to the hermit. The old weak hermit did not speak any word. He continued digging the ground. He was old and weak. That's why he started breathing heavily. The king saw the hermit tired and weary. So he asked the spade from the hermit and served in digging the ground. A few minutes later, the king again repeated his request to the hermit. In the meantime, a bearded man came running, pressing his stomach, which was bleeding badly. He reached the hut and fainted. The king washed the wound and bandaged it. He made him lay on the bed and he himself rested on the floor. The next morning, the bearded man spoke out some words. He asked forgiveness from the king. But the king said that he did not know the man. The bearded man said that one day the king had put his brother to death and seized his property. From that day, he was waiting for the time when he might kill the king on his return. But the days passed, so he came out of his hiding place in search of the king. But the king's bodyguard recognized him and wounded him. He would have died if the king would not rest his wound. He wished to kill the king, but the king saved his life. The king had given the bearded man a life to live. So the man was grateful to the king. Now, on the other side, the king again repeated his request to the hermit. Then The hermit explained to the king that as the king's life was saved because he had taken pity on the hermit and stayed back to help him, the best time to do anything is now. The best thing to do is good, and the important person is the person with you. Thus, the king got the answers of his three questions. Thank you.